maybe about 45 knots. There, we're about to stall. And look around your turn too. We don't want to ever fly blindly. Okay, get a little steeper, just a teeny bit.
Radio check.
Right about there.
Fly
That's
clear
the
box.
angle.
Same as last time, please. Got that.
So I call this part of the turn established, right? When it's turning and you're not making any control inputs. That was really good once it was established.
Yeah.
Entering into the turn was a little like, are we gonna go? Are we gonna go? Are we gonna go? And then we finally got there. But the established part was really good. So on your way, and we need to get a couple more knots. We're just bordering on that stall right now. We want about 45 knots, give or take. Okay, so when you go into the turn on the left, try to make it the entering into the part one committed entrance. I have the controls, so what I don't want is something like this to get to the angle. So more like a little bit of input, wait, and then establish. And then once the turn is established, we're trying to hopefully not move the stick if we can avoid it. I mean, the reality is you might need to make small angle adjustments, but as you enter into the turn, try to make it into one motion. I'll bring you back to the buttes, and then you can try from there. Okay, your controls. Let's go to the left, medium bank, 20 to 30 degrees approximate. Look around your turn, other way. There was something I was taught in my first lesson and I forget to teach it. And I usually go to step 2. I have the controls. So what we got to work on now is airspeed control, and that would be literally number 1 before turning. So we have about 42 knots here. Reference the top of your instrument panel, probably that flat part where the red ball is flat. Reference that to different points out in the distance. Maybe you're just above the buttes or below the mountain in the back, I don't know. You have to create your own references because we sit at different heights. So here's about 40 knots, okay? There's gonna be 2 parts to this. I want you flying these different airspeeds I'm gonna give you, but I also want you flying straight. This is what's gonna determine whether you get to use the spoilers or not, okay? So if you can't fly straight, it doesn't make sense to do spoilers. Okay? Because we're only using spoilers ever to land, really. Okay, so we have, this is about our minimum sink here. Then I want to see 50 knots. I have the controls still. You're going to get around to 50 knots. Reference that flat part of the instrument panel, right? It's much lower than it was before. And then we need 60 knots. I have the controls still. Okay, and then we go back to 40. I'm not going to look at the airspeed indicator. I'm going to put, I mean I will eventually, but I'm going to put the nose where 40 is and let that airspeed bleed off slowly, right? If I go, oh, I'm going to go to 40, next thing you know it, you're 30, pushing the nose down, okay? So, your controls, so let's do about 42 knots, reference. Okay, let's do 50 knots. Close enough for me. And then 60 knots. Okay, and back to 40. Thank you. Whatever I had just said, you listened to, and a lot of people miss that. I appreciate it.
Well, I always listen, but it may not sink in.
you did it, so I appreciate that. Okay. A lot of people will just go nose up and try to. So let's do that one more time. Let's go to 50. You also were pretty straight, so I'm glad about that too. Okay, there's 50 and 60 and back to 40. Very good, almost. We're getting there. I really like that. So, this being said, these are close to being a constant, meaning the next time you put that nose to that angle should equal approximately that speed. Okay? There's one thing that changes it. Do you know what that is?
No.
Using the spoilers. Okay, in order to use it, you'd have to have the nose down another couple degrees. Okay? However, what you just saw there, we're going to use that in the pattern. Flying our speed. Really reference that. Try to hear the wind too. Okay, do you know where our airport is?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
You're looking at it?
I think so.
Okay, I think you are too. Okay, how about the two barns?
The two barns that are lined up north and south.
They're actually east and west length. But go 40.
That's why I think I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, they're right next to that. The ones that are north-south, they're just to the east side. It's like go 45 degrees out from the airport, I suppose. You see the north-south barns, right?
Yeah.
Go 2 properties over to the east. See the 2 barns standing by themselves? Huh?
I see a lot of water over there. Oh, I could sort of make them out there. They're more gray than white.
Yes. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is I'd like to do various S-turns, and this way you get more turning than if we were going to do circles. So I have the controls. Oh, let's see, we actually have acro glider, we can't go over there. There's an acrobatic box on the east side of our airport.
Oh.
So if we were driving straight to the barns, that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at the sectional and it looks like we're in Calusa Class C airspace. It's not Class C for them. Well, we're in Calusa Airport's airspace. I know it extends over Williams.
So it's not controlled is the big thing.
No, right.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I see the glider. They're 11 o'clock way high. I'll put them 12 o'clock high. Right, straight ahead and high. Out about 2 miles, a mile and a half. Literally straight out.
You have better eyes than I do.
Look at straight ahead right now. Alright, it's alright. At least one of us sees him. That's the important part. Okay, so what I'd like to see now is various S-turns, and each time you come out of the turn, I'd like you to come to like a straight and level where you pause the glider wings level and heading. So like this, we pause 1, 2, 3, something like that. Come out and then pause in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, and then continue on. So you have the controls.
Okay.
Your controls.
I like to line up with the road.
Okay. A little more rudder. That's you're seeing the adverse yaw happening.
Yeah, you don't really use the rudder that much in a powered plane.
That's a big difference than what we got going on. We every time you move the stick, we use the rudder. Every time. Looks like the smoke is showing us we got a north wind, huh?
It does, yeah.
It's not that windy, so it's not like we have to land the other direction.
Alright, you want these turns now?
Yes, please.
Easy box is in the box at 6,000 down to 1,500.
Okay, that's good right there.
That was only 90 degrees.
Right, so in my demonstration, I only went like 30 degrees each side of the road or wherever I started at.
Alright.
The idea here, the point of that, was so that you get a lot of turns. As opposed to if you do circles, you get one turn every minute or whatever. Okay, let's see that one more time and then I can diagnose and tell you what I think. And back to the left. Just a little bit more rudder going in. Good. Okay, I have the controls.
You have it.
So when I learned to fly, you know the difference between a skid and a slip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the skid. This is what you're told not to do, right? We don't want to do so much inside rudder, we're skidding now. You see the yaw string?
Yeah.
Towards the low wing, that's the skid, okay? The slip is yaw string towards the high wing. Okay, so my instructor taught me, he said, we don't want to skid, but what he taught me was, we don't want to skid entering into the turn, okay? What I've learned after becoming an instructor is that you can skid exiting the turn. This is what it looks like. I'm coordinating in, that was a good coordinating into the turn, and then if I move the stick only, that just became a skid at the exit. So you gotta be careful for the skid at the exit of the turn. Now, your turn pretty good, getting to that established point is pretty good, not enough entering, but there's one more phase that you're missing.
Not enough what?
Huh?
Said not enough entering.
Not enough rudder entering, right? So you're basically slipping into the turn to start.
Okay.
Okay, which is also that's safe, it's just not proper. So here's the last thing, okay? I'm gonna exaggerate the motions, so it might not be beautiful. Okay, we're going into the turn, establish. Exit the turn, and then exit the turn, and then one more exit of the turn, and you're missing the rudder there. So this is what it looks like when you're doing it. Enter, establish, exit, and then when you exit the exit, you're moving just the stick, puts us in a, you see what's happening there?
Yeah.
Okay, so your controls,
I have it.
let's just go, your controls, let's go 20 degrees either side where we're facing. Okay, enter, And then establish. So, yeah, good. And then let's exit. And then both controls. Yes! That's it. Okay, same thing the other direction. Okay, that's the motion. Now getting the timing of that motion will be good, but that's a good start right there. Okay, back to the right. And we'll come out. Okay, good. And back to the left. Good. It was better than the last turn even. Okay, back to the left again. Establish, so get to this, yeah, right there where the glider's working for you. You're not doing anything, right? Good. Okay, and we'll go left again. And establish, let it coast, let it coast. Good, good, good. Keep it going, and let's come out. And then exit the exit. Yes, okay. Again, the stick is kind of moving a little bit sooner than the rudder on that final exit part, but we're moving forward. That's one good step in the right direction.
Out of the box at 1500.
And Romeo Mike is just south of the barns, 1800. You can land before us.
All right, we'll go in. Thank you.
Zulu is left 50 left crossing 16, number 1, Williams.
PD Fox number 2.
So here, I have the controls again. One thing I think will be a good, healthy habit to form is at first, you're already starting to do better than this, but at first you go into the turn and your establishing part was like too soft. There was like, you're not like, it's hard for me to diagnose or dissect what you're doing in the turn unless you do it a little bit more assertive, I guess would be the thing.